built by God the Father for his love and done. We may talk to Jesus on this royal telephone. Telephone to glory, oh what joy divine. I can feel the current moving on the line. Built by God the Father for his Jesus. We may talk to Jesus. Singing. Yes, indeed, we may talk to Jesus on the royal telephone. Good morning to you and welcome. It is 6:38. We do apologize. Our news and that would normally be on at 6:30, having somewhat of a delay this morning, but we are grateful that you are joining us on the platform. Let's go with our newscast this morning. Stay with us. All right, we're having just a slight little challenge. So we're going to get going one more time for you. Stay with us. All right, let's try one more time. All right, and so we have not been able to get our theme playing, but nonetheless, we are into the newscast right here on NRP Radio and NRP Media. Trelawney Police have launched a large-scale search operation across the division. Rape and grievous sexual assault charges laid against a 34-year-old construction worker of Kingston. Jamaica is exploring strategic partnerships with the Republic of India to improve the supply and affordability of quality pharmaceuticals. And in sport, India produced a stunning all-round performance to boost their semi-final hopes. The news today is brought to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are, no boundaries, no limitations whatsoever. Keep it locked right here on NRP Radio and NRP Media as we continue to broadcast 24 hours per day. Let's now move on to providing you with the news. The Trelawney Police have launched a large-scale search operation across the division. The surge is designed to address the uptick in murders and shootings since the beginning of the year. In a release, the police says these incidents have been attributed to interpersonal conflicts, most of which emanated from emanated from illicit lottery scamming activities. Consequently, the Trelawney Police are urging members of the public to seek to correct channels to assist themselves in conflict resolution. The CCU release says Operation Recovery aims to reduce incidents as it seeks to create a safer environment for the residents of Trelawney. The operations will be focused on capturing wanted men or wanted persons, gunmen, gang members, and individuals who are associated with violent crimes. The search operation will see and across the parish with the assistance of the Jamaica Defense Force and the other police formations in Area 1. The release says in short order, the public should see an increase in police presence along strategic corridors within the parish. Consequently, the police are seeking the cooperation of the public who may encounter some inconvenience during this operation, particularly in public spaces. However, the police will endeavor to minimize inconvenience to members of the public as much as possible. So far, the operations have yielded the seizure of over Jamaican $5 million and the arrest of a man on a reasonable suspicion of breaches of the Law Reform Act, the seizure of a Browning semi-automatic pistol along with 12 9mm rounds of ammunition during an operation yesterday. One man was arrested in relation to the seizure. Two men were arrested for various crimes, namely, one was arrested for breaches under the Proceeds of Crimes Act, and the other was arrested for breaches of conditions of bail. Also, Sherman Sterling of Quarry District, Salt Spring, St. James, was charged on Monday with the murder of Sandra Williams of Albion Road, Montego Bay, St. James, which occurred on April 5 on Holland Road, Falmouth, Trelawney. Additionally, he is also charged with possession of prohibited weapon and using a prohibited weapon to commit a felony. As the operations continue in earnest, the Trelawney Police wants to ensure citizens that the operations will be conducted with the utmost respect for human rights as they continue to engender partnerships and build safer communities throughout the parish. Meanwhile, one Taurus 9mm pistol with 3 9mm cartridges was found during a stop and search operation along Michael Manley Boulevard in Kingston on Tuesday. Reports from the Elliston Road Police are that about 11:30 a.m., police acting on information stopped a white Toyota Axio and searched the vehicle. During the search, the firearm and ammunition was found in the center console. The driver was taken into custody. However, his identity is being withheld pending further investigations. Still from the police, rape and grievous sexual assault charges have been laid against 34-year-old Richard Brand, a construction worker of Harley Road, Kingston 11, following two incidents in Charlton Drive, Kingston 8 on Tuesday, July 2 and September 2024. Reports from the Center of Investigation for Sexual Offenses and Child Abuse, CISOCA, that Brown was working at the victim's home when he held down the 15-year-old in her bedroom and sexually assaulted her. In September 2024, Brown went back to the address to conduct repairs, where he again sexually assaulted the teen. Brand was charged after a question and answer session. He's scheduled to appear before the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on Friday, October 18. Jamaica is exploring strategic partnerships with the Republic of India to improve the supply and affordability of quality pharmaceuticals locally, thereby reducing the cost of healthcare in the country. This was announced by Prime Minister the Most Honorable Andrew Holness in a statement to the House of Representatives this week. He said India is among the largest manufacturers and exporters of pharmaceuticals globally, with an industry valued more than US $50 billion. The Prime Minister further noted that India provides supplies for nearly all countries around the world. He said, quote, "In healthcare and medical tourism, we explored how Jamaica's world-renowned tourism industry and India's expertise in healthcare can collaborate to create a thriving medical tourism sector benefiting both nations." Dr. Holness said the government is laying the foundation to strengthen the partnership between both nations and not miss out on opportunities. The Prime Minister added that the country keeps missing these opportunities, which would have made the country stronger economically. However, he added that the government is not intending on missing out any more of these opportunities. Instead, new opportunities will be created, laying the foundation for them to be developed, nurtured, and grow. Meanwhile, Dr. Holness assured the Jamaican public and India that they are both committed to increasing bilateral trade and investment, particularly in agriculture, manufacturing, and technology. The Ministry of Education and Youth will be employing a tactical strategies during the current academic year aimed at improving student performance in mathematics. During the recent sitting of the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate external exams, only 39% of Jamaican students received a passing grade in mathematics. Permanent Secretary Dr. Casson Troop said the approach will include extended learning opportunities for students and teacher support. How that will unpack this year is that we have gone into the 245 schools, and this includes 56 secondary levels institutions, and we have pulled out their data in terms of their performance. We have looked to see how they rolled out their learning program in terms of the time allotted on the timetable to execute the syllabus for the assessments that they do, and we are going to be helping our schools to do that differently, Dr. Troop explained. She was addressing the recent Education Transformation Oversight Committee press conference held at the University University of the West Indies regional headquarters in St. Andrew. Dr. Troop shared that according to the CSEC mathematics syllabus, 3.3 hours are required weekly for its completion in 2 years. Meanwhile, she advised that the ministry has also developed QR codes which will be mounted at bus stops and other areas frequented by students. They can scan and get practice questions. They can scan rather and get practice questions right there where they are. So there's a learning on the go when they are traveling, so they can maximize time on task, she said, while urging students to embrace self directed learning. Dr. Troop said that the ministry will also be hosting face to face and virtual camps organized by mathematics coaches and specialists. Finally, in the news this morning, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, is reporting that there has been significant improvements in Haiti's political situation since the establishment of a transitional presidential council earlier this year. Haiti has been experiencing humanitarian, security, socio-economic, and political crises. The council was the, has the council was the landmark outcome of a high-level meeting of regional heads, international partners, and Haitian stakeholders on March 11, which paved the way for a peaceful transition of power and the road to free and fair elections. Addressing yesterday's post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House, Senator Johnson Smith advised that Haiti is close to establishing a provisional electoral council, which is the body constitutionally authorized to implement all the steps and requirements needed for elections. You might recall that the life of the council is actually scheduled for 2026. So the hope is to have things in place to allow that timeline to be met. And the electoral council is there for one of the critical milestones in ensuring Haiti's return to democratic governance, she explained. Senator Johnson Smith noted that there have been some challenges and encourages their continued engagement with the eminent persons or the Eminent Persons Group that continues to give guidance on working through some of the difficult issues. You're tuned to NRP Radio. It's NRP News. The time is now 10 minutes going up to the hour of 7 o'clock. NRP News, your station on NRP Radio, primary Christian source for news, sports, and the weather on nrpmediaja.com. Reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
You're listening to NRP Media and Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
And we're going to be continuing now with the sports right here on NRP Radio and NRP Media. Keep it locked right here, 24 hours per day. And of course, 365 days per year. Let's go now with our sports. All right. Thank you so much for staying with us. This is NRP Radio having some technical glitches, but we are still on the ball. Let's move on then with the sports. And of course, this morning, the sports information brought to you by Four Seasons Sports Closet and Equipment. They're over there in Mandeville in Manchester. Reggae Boys, Tavon Gray, who is now a reggae boy for a year, has expressed that his journey so far has proven to be a great experience. He was speaking following a recent game and he was speaking to the liaison officer for the Reggae Boys. Let's hear from him at this time.
It's good to be back in the squad. Obviously, new coach, had a few talks with him, all positive. So just happy for the opportunity once again. It's been an amazing experience, meeting new players, playing with best players from our nation. It's been nothing but love, nothing but joy. Always good to represent Jamaica. Yeah.
All right, so that was Reggae Boys, and his name is Tavon Gray, who has been a member of the Reggae Boys for a year, giving his experience, expressing how he felt and how it has been for him for the past year. Gray was also part of the Jamaican squad that got bronze in the 2024 CONCACAF National or Nations League. On cricket now, Joe Root's impeccable century on the day he became England's all-time leading run scorer led the charge back into the first test against Pakistan in Multan. Beginning 3-day on 32, Root needed another 39 to break Sir Alistair's Cook's record. The 33-year-old in his 147th test created a moment of British sporting history, then went on to set up the prospect of a remarkable recovery. In a punishing heat, this was one of the most grilling of Root's 35 test hundreds. He battled through for his 176 not out, taking England to 492 for 3, only 64 runs behind. And still on cricket, India produced a stunning all-round performance to boost their semi-final hopes and knock Sri Lanka out of the Women's T20 World Cup. Set an imposing 173 to win in Dubai, Sri Lanka slumped to 6 for 3, and then crawled to 90 all out in 19.5 overs. Astonishing, as India secured a ruthless 82 victory. Opener Shrimp Dana and the Prit Kaur struck fine half centuries as India posted 172 for 3, the highest total of the tournament so far. Kaur was dropped on 22 and brutally punished, a wary Sri Lanka finishing unbeaten on 52 from 27 balls. The match winning total was set by Smiti, 36 ball 50 in a shantless opening stand of 98 with Shafali Verma, who made 43. And that's where we leave you on sports this morning, brought to you courtesy of Four Seasons Sports Closet. And they are over there in Mandeville in Manchester, Jamaica. All right, as we continue our news right here on this station, of course, we're moving now to the weather. The National Meteorological Service of Jamaica is reporting that there is a significant feature of a ridge across Jamaica and an induced trough across the Western Caribbean. The ridge is expected to remain until later today, after which a trough moves into the vicinity of the island. Additionally, Hurricane Milton continues along its northeast track just east of Florida and has induced a trough across the Western Caribbean. In the 24-hour forecast this morning, isolated showers and showers across sections of southern parishes, otherwise partly cloudy. This afternoon, expect isolated showers and thunderstorms across sections of northern parishes. Elsewhere, hilly areas, otherwise mostly cloudy. Tonight, partly cloudy. The 3-day forecast starting tomorrow, Friday through to Sunday. On Friday and Saturday, expect isolated morning showers across sections of eastern and southern parishes. Widely scattered afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms across sections of most parishes. On Sunday, partly cloudy in the morning across eastern parishes. Isolated afternoon showers and thunderstorms across northern parishes and hilly areas elsewhere. Other current regional features, there's a Hurricane Milton that is located at 15 kilometers northeast of Cape Canaveral, Florida. Hurricane Leslie, located at about 2,740 kilometers west-southwest of the Azores Island. And the maximum temperature expected for Kingston today, 33 degrees Celsius. Minimum, or there should be maximum temperatures expected for Montego Bay today, 32 degrees Celsius. That is the latest weather report and forecast right here on NRP Radio. Let's see if we can squeeze in a little bit from our friends at the VOA overseas as they broadcast to us every hour.
I am VOA's Tommy McNeil with your worldwide news update. Hurricane Milton crashed into the U.S. state of Florida as a Category 3 hurricane. And as VOA's Anita Powell reports, U.S. President Joe Biden and other officials issued warnings of the the storm's seriousness on Wednesday before it arrived.
President Joe Biden warned that a deadly and catastrophic storm would slam into the state, bringing high winds and severe flooding.
It's looking like the storm of the century.
Local officials bore down and urged residents to heed evacuation orders. Arelis Escalera is a spokesperson for Pinellas County.
Our message is please don't stay home if you are in one of the evacuation zones.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis urged the same Wednesday morning.
You still have time to evacuate.
Anita Powell, VOA News, Washington.
AP Washington correspondent Sagar Magani reports for the first time in 7 weeks, U.S. President Joe Biden's been on the phone with Israeli leader Benjamin Netanyahu.
It was direct. It was productive.
Spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre says they did discuss Israel's response to Iran's recent ballistic missile attack, and while she would not speculate, Israel's defense chief says the retaliation will be lethal and surprising. Meantime, Netanyahu's office confirmed he'd recently spoken with former President Trump, whose campaign says that should not be surprising. Jean-Pierre says it also should not amount to much. There is one person in charge of American foreign policy.
And with that, we've come to the end of our news this morning right here on NRP Radio. Let's tell you one more time that Trelawney police have launched a large-scale search operation across the division. Rape and grievous sexual assault charges laid against 34-year-old construction worker of Kingston. Jamaica is exploring strategic partnerships with the Republic of India to improve the supply and affordability of quality pharmaceuticals. And in sport, India produced a stunning all-round performance to boost their semi-final hopes. The full half-an-hour package of news came to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are. Stand by now for the program Let the Word Speak with Reverend Paul Blair. And the Word of God in Luke 1:46 and 47 says, "My soul praises the Lord. My heart rejoices in God, my Savior." This is NRP Media and Radio. The time is 7 a.m. And the Word of God in Luke 1:46 and 47 says, "My soul praises..." Hi there, I'm Leon Nash, CEO of NRPMediaJA.com, and you are listening to NRPMediaJA.com.
Hi, I'm Janine.
And I'm Kalisha. And we are the Christo Praises. You're listening to NRP Media and Radio. Reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Hello, radio listener. Thank you so much for joining us. You're now invited to listen to Let the Word Speak with Reverend Paul Blair.